pork empanadas. Let's get started. First, we need to prepare the pork filling. Do this by heating oil in a cooking pot. Once the oil gets hot, it's time to put in the ground pork. Let's cook the pork until the color turns light brown. Now it's time to put the onion. I'm using chopped yellow onion for this recipe. You can use red or white onions too. Now it's time to add the Worcestershire sauce. If this is not available, you could use soy sauce as an alternative ingredient. I'm also going to add beef broth. Feel free to add pork broth if beef broth is not available. And some raisins. Let's give this a quick stir. Now let's just cover the pot and continue to cook for about 10 to 12 minutes. Now, it's time to put the vegetable ingredients into the pork filling. Add carrots and green peas. I'll also be adding the diced potato. Give it a quick stir and cook this for 5 to 8 minutes. Season with salt and ground black pepper. Stir it one more time and set this aside. Now let's make the dough for our empanadas. I will be using a food processor to make things easier. Combine all-purpose flour and salt and mix everything together by pulsing. Next goes the butter. We will be adding the butter piece by piece while pulsing. And now we'll be cracking a piece of egg into the food processor. Continue to pulse until everything is well blended. And here goes the last ingredient, the milk. We need to gradually pour milk while blending. The next thing that we need to do is to simply remove the dough from the food processor and form one huge ball out of it. There you go. Now divide this into 2 equal parts. We'll asynchronously work on each part for easier handling. Now we need to flatten the dough on a smooth, flat surface using a rolling pin. Now once the dough gets flattened, we'll cut parts of it using an improvised cookie cutter. So we need a circular shaped cutter for this. And I'm using the cover of my smaller food processor. You could also use the tip of a bowl. Once the dough is cut, just get it off one by one. Continue to do the same steps on the remaining dough. Place everything in the refrigerator and chill for 20 minutes. Now we're ready to assemble our pork empanadas. Scoop a portion of the pork filling and place it in the middle of the dough. The next thing that we need to do is to ensure that the filling inside is secured. Simply do this by folding the dough symmetrically. And then we have to press against the tip of the dough and use a fork to completely secure it. So I simply do it by putting the empanada on a flat surface and I press the tip of the fork against the edges of the dough. That's it. Do the same steps on the other remaining ingredients and then we'll just bake this in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. Take the empanadas from the oven after 15 minutes and brush with the egg wash. This will give the empanadas that nice golden brown color. Put it back in the oven and bake for 5 minutes more. And now it's ready to be enjoyed. Let's just transfer this to a serving plate and serve. Here is our pork empanadas. Sarap!